My dear friends, in today's world we measure value in strange ways. We look at brands, gadgets, cars, and bank balances, and we forget that true value is not found in what we wear, what we own, or even how many people like our pictures online. True value shines through our character, our wisdom, and our strength. A woman of high value is not one who tries to impress the world, but one who expresses the best version of herself. Let me share a small story. There was once a jeweler who had a priceless diamond. Many people came to see it, but very few could understand its worth. Some looked at it and said, "It's just a shiny stone." Others offered him cheap coins for it. Only another jeweler recognized the diamond's true value and said, "This is rare. This is priceless." My friends, women are like that diamond. The world may try to put a price tag on you, but your true worth is beyond all that. A high-value woman does not wait for the world to recognize her. She knows her value already. So, what are the secrets that make such a woman stand tall, calm, and radiant? Let me share with you 7 timeless secrets every high-value woman knows. First, she knows her worth. She never begs for validation because her self-esteem comes from within. Second, she knows the power of boundaries. Just as a river flows beautifully within its banks, her life flows beautifully within the limits she sets. Third, she knows the importance of emotional control. She doesn't allow anger, gossip, or negativity to drain her dignity. Fourth, she values growth over perfection. She understands life is a journey, not a performance. Fifth, she treasures relationships of depth rather than chasing crowds of shallow connections. Six, she practices gratitude. Even in storms, she finds a reason to smile. And seventh, she embodies purpose. She lives not just for survival, but for contribution, compassion, and meaning. My dear friends, when a woman embraces these secrets, she doesn't just shine for herself. She becomes a source of light for her family, her community, and the world. Just like a lamp doesn't need to scream to prove it's glowing, a high-value woman doesn't need to prove anything. Her presence speaks louder than her words. So, to all the women here, remember, you are not an object for approval. You are not a decoration for the world. You are a diamond, rare and radiant. And to everyone listening, when you see such a woman, don't just admire her beauty. Respect her values, because that is where her true power lies. There is a beautiful truth in life. When you know your value, the world cannot reduce you. But sadly, most of us live in constant pursuit of approval. We wait for likes, compliments, or external praise to tell us we are enough. And in this waiting, we sometimes forget the most important voice, the voice within. A high-value woman understands this very clearly. She does not depend on the applause of the world to know her worth. She knows it, feels it, and lives it. Imagine this. If a diamond could speak, would it beg the shopkeeper to convince customers of its price? No. The diamond shines by its very nature. Whether people recognize its worth or not, it remains rare, precious, and strong. Similarly, a high-value woman does not waste her time proving to others who she is. She knows that her worth is intrinsic, not based on who appreciates her today or ignores her tomorrow. When we seek validation outside, we become like a leaf in the wind, tossed around by every opinion. If someone praises us, we feel good. If someone criticizes us, we crumble. But when worth comes from within, we stand firm like a tree rooted deep in the ground. A high-value woman understands that opinions are temporary, but her self-respect is eternal. This does not mean she is arrogant. True self-worth is not loud. It is quiet confidence. It is that gentle yet unshakable assurance that says, I am valuable, not because the world approves, but because I exist with dignity, with purpose, and with heart. Arrogance screams, self-worth whispers. And her whisper is stronger than the world's noise. Think of the most inspiring women in history or in your own life. Were they constantly asking the world, am I good enough? No, they simply walked in their truths. Their confidence did not come from applause. It came from alignment with their values. This is what makes a woman magnetic, not desperate for attention, but full of presence. When a woman knows her worth, she also learns to walk away from things that don't align with her dignity. She will not stay in a place where she is undervalued. She will not tolerate disrespect disguised as love. She will not settle for less just to feel accepted. She knows that solitude with self-respect is better than company with humiliation. Many women, especially in today's world, are caught in the trap of comparison. Social media adds to it, constantly showing curated versions of other people's lives. A high-value woman does not fall into that pit. She reminds herself that her journey is unique. Her beauty is unique. Her path is unique. She doesn't compete with others. She competes only with her yesterday. True self-worth also allows her to lift others up. Why? Because when you are secure in your own value, you don't feel threatened by another's success. Instead of jealousy, you feel inspiration. Instead of envy, you offer encouragement. Her inner fullness allows her to celebrate others without feeling any less. And perhaps the most beautiful part is this: when a woman knows her worth, the world begins to treat her differently. People sense it in her posture, her words, her choices. Respect is not demanded, it is commanded naturally. It flows from how she carries herself. So the first secret of a high-value woman is this: she knows her worth deep in her soul. She does not look into the mirror of the world for validation. She carries her own mirror within. One of the greatest strengths of a high-value woman is her ability to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges that allow healthy relationships to flow in and harmful ones to remain out. They are like the banks of a river. Without them, water spills everywhere and loses its strength. With them, the river flows beautifully, powerfully, and purposefully. A high-value woman understands this deeply, and she is not afraid to say, "This is acceptable for me, and this is not." Often, society conditions women to believe that being nice, means saying yes to everything, sacrificing personal peace for others, and stretching themselves thin to be loved or accepted. But being endlessly available does not make one valuable. It makes one vulnerable. A high-value woman knows that saying yes to everything is not kindness. Sometimes it is self-neglect. She realizes that her time, energy, and emotions are precious resources, and she invests them carefully. Think of a garden. If you let anyone walk in without care, the flowers will be trampled, the soil ruined, and the beauty destroyed. But if you put a small fence, not to block out the world, but to protect the delicate plants, the garden flourishes. In the same way, a woman's dignity and peace are her inner garden. Boundaries are the fences that protect that sacred space. It is not always easy to set boundaries. People will call her selfish, stubborn, or even difficult. But she knows the truth. Boundaries are not about rejecting others. They are about respecting herself. She understands that if she doesn't protect her own peace, no one else will. And so she says no when it matters. She walks away from conversations that drain her spirit. She does not tolerate manipulation disguised as affection. She knows the difference between compromise and self-destruction. Setting boundaries also means choosing the right company. A high-value woman does not allow toxic people to have front row seats in her life. She surrounds herself with those who uplift, respect, and challenge her positively. She doesn't entertain those who constantly gossip, criticize, or take advantage of her kindness. By doing this, she sends a powerful message, not just to the world, but also to herself, that she values her peace above all else. What's remarkable is that boundaries do not make her hard, they make her balanced. Just as a strong door has a lock to keep intruders away, it also has a handle to welcome guests. In the same way, she is open, kind, and generous to those who honor her space, yet firm enough to close the door to those who bring harm. And here lies another secret. When she sets boundaries, she doesn't just protect herself, she also teaches others how to treat her. People learn from her actions what is acceptable and what is not. In doing so, she elevates the standard of her relationships. Instead of being drained by constant conflict, she enjoys interactions built on mutual respect. Boundaries also give her the freedom to grow. Without constant distractions, without the burden of trying to please everyone, she has space to nurture her dreams, focus on her goals, and cultivate inner peace. She understands that boundaries are not restrictions. They are protections that allow her true self to flourish. So when a high-value woman draws a line, it is not because she lacks love. It is because she values love enough to keep it pure. She understands that true kindness cannot exist without self-respect. She knows that without boundaries, peace is impossible. And because she treasures her peace, she guards it fiercely with grace and strength. There is a saying, the strongest warrior is not the one who conquers others, but the one who conquers herself. A high-value woman knows this truth well. Her strength does not lie in loud arguments, in proving herself right, or in reacting to every situation that disturbs her peace. Her strength lies in her ability to remain composed, calm, and balanced even when the world around her is filled with noise and chaos. Everyday life throws challenges. Someone might criticize her unfairly, a friend might betray her trust, or circumstances may not unfold according to her expectations. In such moments, the natural impulse is to react instantly, anger, frustration, or tears. But she knows that reaction is weakness, while response is wisdom. She does not allow temporary emotions to control her permanent dignity. Imagine a glass of clear water. If mud is stirred into it, the water becomes cloudy. If left still, it regains its clarity. In the same way, when chaos enters her life, she gives herself time to breathe, reflect, and respond rather than allowing her inner clarity to be permanently clouded by anger or despair. She understands that peace is not the absence of problems, but the ability to remain centered amidst them. This emotional control does not mean she suppresses her feelings. No, she acknowledges them, feels them, but does not let them dictate her actions. She can be hurt without becoming bitter. She can be angry without becoming destructive, and she can be disappointed without becoming hopeless. This balance makes her radiant because people around her feel safe in her presence. They know she will not explode unpredictably or let negativity dominate her energy. One of her greatest strengths is the art of silence. She knows that not every comment deserves a reply. Not every insult deserves attention, and not every argument deserves her participation. She does not waste her energy trying to win small battles because her eyes are set on a larger vision. Sometimes her silence speaks louder than words because silence is not weakness. It is controlled strength. Think of the ocean. Its waves may rise and fall, but deep within, the ocean remains still. A high-value woman is like that ocean. On the surface, life may be stormy, but within, she cultivates stillness. That inner calm gives her the ability to make wise decisions and to maintain dignity in moments where others may lose control. Her emotional control also allows her to nurture relationships in a healthier way. Instead of reacting with anger, when disagreements arise, she communicates with patience. Instead of turning conflicts into wars, she seeks resolution. This calmness is not only a gift to herself, but to everyone around her. And there is another hidden beauty. When she chooses calmness over chaos, she becomes an inspiration. Others may look at her and wonder, how does she remain so composed when everything around her is falling apart? The answer lies not in her circumstances, but in her mindset. She has trained her heart to choose peace, even when peace is not offered to her. This emotional mastery is what sets her apart. She does not allow life's storms to dictate the state of her soul. She knows storms will come and go, but her response to them defines her character. Calmness for her is not just an act, it is a habit, a discipline, and a way of life. Perfection is one of the greatest illusions the world has created. Everywhere we look, we are told what the perfect woman should look like, how the perfect career should unfold, how the perfect life should appear. Yet, deep inside, we all know that perfection does not exist. It is a mirage, something we keep chasing but can never hold. A high-value woman understands this truth. Instead of chasing the unreachable, she chooses the path of progress and growth. She knows that mistakes are not signs of weakness, but stepping stones to wisdom. Every stumble teaches her balance, every failure gives her insight, and every challenge strengthens her resilience. She does not punish herself for falling, she rewards herself for getting up. In her eyes, growth is not about being flawless, but about being fearless enough to keep moving forward. Think of a tree. When a seed is planted, no one expects it to become a tall, fruit-bearing tree overnight. It takes time, nurturing, seasons of sunshine, and even storms. Some branches may break, some leaves may fall, but with each passing season, the tree grows stronger and deeper in its roots. A high-value woman sees herself in the same way. She is patient with her journey, allowing herself to evolve with grace without forcing perfection at every stage. Chasing perfection often leads to anxiety and self-doubt, because no matter how much we do, there will always be something more we think we should do. But by choosing progress, she finds joy in small victories. She celebrates every step forward, however small it may seem. She doesn't compare her beginning with someone else's middle or her journey with another's destination. Instead, she asks herself, am I better than who I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, then she is already succeeding. She also understands that growth requires humility. Perfection says, I already know everything. Growth says, I am willing to learn. A high-value woman embraces the role of a student, open to new wisdom, new experiences, and even constructive criticism. She knows that every person she meets has something to teach her, every situation has a hidden lesson, and every hardship has the potential to shape her character. And this mindset frees her from unnecessary pressure. She does not have to wear the mask of being perfect all the time. She allows herself to be authentic, sometimes strong, sometimes vulnerable, sometimes bold, sometimes quiet. She knows that authenticity is more valuable than artificial perfection. People are not drawn to her because she has no flaws, but because she embraces her flaws with grace and keeps growing despite them. Her focus on growth also makes her adaptable. Life changes, circumstances shift, and unexpected storms arrive. While those chasing perfection crumble under change, because it disturbs their carefully built image, she remains steady. Because growth thrives in change, she adapts, learns, and evolves, using every new chapter as an opportunity for transformation. Ultimately, progress is what gives her peace. She doesn't wake up with the burden of being perfect. She wakes up with the joy of becoming better. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also makes her more compassionate, toward herself and toward others. She doesn't demand perfection from anyone because she knows everyone is on their own journey of growth. For her, life is not a performance where the audience must be impressed. It is a journey of becoming, where each day offers a chance to rise a little higher, to learn a little deeper, and to live a little wiser. In today's world, attention is everywhere, but connection is rare. With one click, hundreds of people can like a picture, comment a few words, or send quick emojis. But what does that attention really mean? It is fleeting, like a spark that glows for a second and then disappears. A high-value woman understands this very clearly. She does not measure her worth by how many people are watching her. Instead, she invests her time, love, and energy in relationships that have depth, loyalty, and meaning. She knows that shallow attention is like fast food. It may give a quick thrill, but it cannot nourish the soul. True relationships, on the other hand, are like a home-cooked meal, prepared with care, seasoned with love, and nourishing for the long journey of life. That is why she chooses quality over quantity when it comes to people. A high-value woman does not chase crowds. She does not beg to be included in every circle or to be the center of every party. She knows that being surrounded by dozens of people who don't truly understand her is lonelier than being in silence by herself. So, she chooses carefully. She seeks friends who listen, partners who respect, and mentors who guide. She treasures those who stand with her in both sunshine and storms. Think of a pearl. It is hidden deep inside the oyster, not visible to everyone who passes by. Only those who dive deep can find it. In the same way, her heart is not available for everyone's approval. She allows only those who are sincere, loyal, and genuine to enter her inner circle. This doesn't mean she is cold or unkind to others. On the contrary, she is warm, polite, and respectful to everyone she meets. But she knows the difference between kindness and intimacy. She can be kind to many, but she is close only with a few. This is wisdom, not arrogance, because she understands that energy is limited. And to give it everywhere is to leave nothing for where it truly matters. Her relationships are built on trust, respect, and shared values. She avoids toxic bonds that thrive on gossip, jealousy, or manipulation. She understands that love without respect is not love at all, and friendship without trust is an illusion. That's why she would rather have 2 or 3 true companions who uplift her than 100 acquaintances who vanish at the first sign of difficulty. When it comes to love, she seeks depth over display. She does not fall for sweet words alone. She values consistent actions. She does not crave someone who shows her off for attention. She values someone who stands by her with loyalty and quiet strength. To her, love is not about being adored in public. It is about being respected in private. By choosing meaningful relationships, she also protects her inner peace. Shallow attention often brings drama, competition, and noise, while deep connections bring stability, comfort, and growth. She values conversations that nurture her mind, not gossip that drains her energy. She chooses people who celebrate her growth, not those who feel threatened by it. Most importantly, she understands that meaningful relationships are two-way streets. She does not only expect depth from others, she gives it as well. She invests her time, her listening, her care, and her loyalty into those who matter. She is not afraid of commitment because she knows true love and true friendship require patience and effort. And so, her life may not always be crowded, but it is always rich with the kind of relationships that last not just for moments, but for a lifetime. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in life. Yet it is also one of the most forgotten. Many people wait for big victories to feel thankful. A promotion, a new house, a perfect partner. But a high-value woman knows that gratitude is not reserved only for special occasions. It is a way of life. She practices it every single day, in every season. Whether the sky above her is bright with sunshine or heavy with clouds. She understands that gratitude is not about ignoring struggles. It is about recognizing blessings even in the middle of them. Life will always have challenges, disappointments, and pain. But gratitude gives her the strength to see the silver lining, to say, yes, things are hard, but there is still something to be thankful for. This attitude does not remove problems, but it changes how she experiences them. Imagine two people stuck in the rain. One complains about being wet, while the other says, at least the earth is being nourished. Both are in the same storm, but their perspectives create different experiences. The high-value woman chooses the second perspective. Gratitude allows her to see beauty where others see misery. She is thankful not only for what she has, but also for what she has avoided. She looks at closed doors, not with bitterness, but with trust, knowing that sometimes rejection is protection. She thanks life for teaching her through both blessings and challenges. A failed friendship reminds her of the value of loyalty. A lost opportunity teaches her patience. A difficult season helps her grow stronger. Gratitude transforms her pain into wisdom. Her practice of gratitude also affects her relationships. People love being around her because she appreciates even the small things. She does not take kindness for granted, nor does she remain silent when someone makes an effort for her. A simple thank you, a smile, or a heartfelt acknowledgement makes those around her feel valued. Gratitude, in her hands, becomes a tool that strengthens bonds and nurtures love. Another beautiful quality of her gratitude is that it keeps her grounded. In a world where people are constantly chasing more, she is content with what she already has. Contentment does not mean she lacks ambition. It means she can enjoy the present while still working for the future. Gratitude allows her to celebrate the now without being restless for what is yet to come. She also practices gratitude toward herself. Many people are harsh on their own mistakes, but she appreciates her own journey. She looks back at her past and thanks herself for surviving, for trying, for learning, for not giving up. Gratitude toward herself makes her kinder, more forgiving, and more compassionate. This inner practice reflects outwardly too. She often finds joy in simple things: the smell of morning tea, the laughter of a loved one, the comfort of silence after a long day. She does not wait for grand achievements to feel alive. She embraces the small blessings that make life beautiful. And even in storms, her gratitude becomes her anchor. While others drown in complaints, she rises with resilience. Gratitude keeps her heart light, her spirit hopeful, and her perspective clear. She knows that every season of life, whether pleasant or painful, carries a gift. Gratitude helps her find it. There is a quiet emptiness that often follows material success. A new car, a bigger house, or a promotion can bring joy, but only for a short while. The shine eventually fades. The excitement settles, and the heart still whispers, "Is this all?" A high-value woman understands this truth. She does not live merely to collect possessions or achievements. She lives with a sense of purpose that goes beyond material success. Her life is not just about existing. It is about contributing, about leaving a mark that lasts longer than her own lifetime. Purpose gives her direction. Without it, life feels like a ship drifting aimlessly in the ocean, tossed around by every wave of circumstance. But with purpose, she has a compass. She may not always control the winds, but she knows where she is headed. That sense of direction gives her clarity when others are lost, and strength when others are weary. Her purpose does not have to be something grand in the eyes of the world. It could be raising children with love, serving her community with dedication, inspiring others through her words, or even just living each day with kindness. What matters is not the size of the purpose, but the depth of it. She measures her life not by what she gathers, but by what she gives. Think of a candle. Its purpose is not to stay tall and untouched, but to give light. In burning, it fulfills its role. A high-value woman is like that candle. She shines for others, even if it means effort, sacrifice, or hard work. She finds fulfillment in being useful, in knowing that her existence makes a difference to someone, somewhere. Material success alone often breeds competition, envy, and stress. But purpose brings peace. While others may constantly compare who has more, she focuses on what she can contribute. She is not restless for applause, because purpose itself gives her inner satisfaction. Her joy comes not from being the richest in the room, but from being the one who adds meaning to the room. Living with purpose also makes her resilient. When challenges come, money or fame cannot always provide strength, but purpose does. If she is driven by her deeper why, she can endure storms without breaking. For example, if her purpose is to uplift others, she will still find ways to serve even in her own struggles. If her purpose is to nurture her family, she will keep going even when she is exhausted. Purpose gives her the stamina that comfort alone cannot. Her purpose also allows her to inspire. People may admire her success, but they are moved by her reason for living. When others see her working not just for herself, but for a greater cause, they are encouraged to reflect on their own lives. She becomes a reminder that fulfillment does not lie in having more, but in becoming more. And what's most beautiful is that her purpose evolves with her. At different stages of life, she may live for different causes, but the essence remains the same. She is always striving to live meaningfully. Whether young or old, whether in small circles or on large platforms, she never forgets that life is too precious to be wasted on mere survival. A high-value woman knows that wealth and recognition may fade, but the impact of a purposeful life echoes through generations. That is why she lives each day with intention, choosing to build a legacy of meaning rather than just a collection of possessions. Respect is one of the most precious qualities in life, but it always begins at home, with oneself. A high-value woman knows this deeply. She understands that the way she treats herself sets the standard for how others will treat her. If she constantly doubts herself, accepts disrespect, or undervalues her own presence, the world will mirror that back to her. But if she holds herself with dignity, speaks with confidence, and honors her own worth, others cannot help but follow suit. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is not about thinking she is better than others. It is about recognizing that she deserves to be treated with fairness, kindness, and dignity. She does not tolerate belittling because she does not belittle herself. She does not accept dishonesty because she chooses honesty for herself. By honoring her own standards, she silently communicates to the world, "This is how I expect to be treated." Imagine a queen in her palace. She does not need to shout for respect. Her very posture, her calmness, her boundaries communicate her royalty. In the same way, a high-value woman does not demand respect with loud words. She earns it through the way she carries herself. The tone of her voice, the way she walks into a room, the choices she makes, all of these reflect her inner respect for herself. This respect shows up in the small, everyday things. She takes care of her body not out of vanity, but because she values her health. She manages her time wisely because she knows her hours are precious. She invests in her growth because she believes she deserves the chance to evolve. Each of these acts is a quiet declaration, "I value myself." And because she values herself, she does not settle for less than she deserves, whether in friendships, work, or love. If a relationship strips away her dignity, she walks away. If a workplace undermines her worth, she seeks something better. If society pressures her to shrink herself, she refuses. She knows that losing herself is too high a price to pay for temporary acceptance. Her self-respect also teaches others how to behave around her. When people see that she does not entertain gossip, they stop bringing it to her. When they see she will not allow disrespectful jokes, they choose their words carefully. When they see that she values honesty and integrity, they rise to meet those standards. Without lecturing or forcing, she elevates the behavior of those around her simply by being consistent with her own. And here is the beauty. Her respect for herself allows her to respect others more genuinely. Because she does not operate from insecurity, she does not need to tear others down to feel good. She can admire another's beauty without feeling threatened, applaud another's success without feeling inferior, and listen to another's voice without silencing her own. Her self-respect makes her both strong and gracious. This quality also inspires. People often wonder why some women naturally command admiration even without trying. The answer lies not in looks or status, but in self-respect. There is something magnetic about a woman who knows who she is and refuses to compromise her dignity. Her presence itself becomes a statement louder than words. For a high-value woman, respect begins in the mirror. She looks at herself with kindness, speaks to herself with encouragement, and carries herself with confidence. And because she honors herself, the world learns to honor her too.